Hi guys, this is the second video of our playlist of our Notes app playlist, and in this video we are going to design login and sign up page for our application. So first we need to create a project. We will create it through Flutter create command. You can name it as you want. I had named it as Studio App Firebase, and it will create a project with name as Studio App Firebase. So our project is created. Let's go into the project and I will open it inside my Visual Studio Code. This is the Android emulator that I use. It is a Pixel 8 and I usually run all my projects into this emulator. This is the starter code that we get after creating the Flutter project, and here is a main file, and inside main file there is void main function, which is the entry point for our application, which has a function called as run app, which picks the class and renders it into our application. So first, as we are going to design login screen and sign up screen in this application in this video, so let's create a folder called as screens, and inside screen let's create login screen. This is the login screen file where we are going to create a stateful widget. So this is a snippet that will automatically create a stateful widget, and I will name it as login screen. Okay, so it will return a scaffold, and inside scaffold there will be app bar, and the title for the app bar will be, let's name it as login screen for now. Okay, login. And in main.dart file, what we are going to do, we are going to remove this my home page widget because we don't need it, and I will remove this comment too. Okay, so here instead of using home variable, what we will do, we will use routes. So we will define routes, and for login screen it will be slash login. Here I will pass context and it will point toward the login screen. Okay, so we have defined routes here, and we need to provide the starting route through which if the application start, so where it should be redirected. So for that there is an initial route and we will point it toward login. Okay, and I will remove this home page. Let's try to run this application. I will open a new terminal and run the command as flutter run. So it will take time to build the application at first. As you can see, our application has been compiled successfully and it's now getting installed on our Android emulator. And it should render the login screen. Okay, so login has appeared here that we had used as title. So the application is working fine. Now what we will do, we will design this login page fully. For that, we don't need this app bar, so I will remove. I had used it only to check whether this page get renders or not. And instead of app bar, I will directly use body. So inside body, there will be a center widget, which will place all the content at the center of the screen. We don't need to add this padding or more margin to place it in the center. And it will have a child of container. And inside container, there will be a child where we will be using column because we need to place items one below another. Like first there will be a text field to enter the email, then there will be a text field to enter the password, and below that there will be a button to log in. So in this way we are going to place all our widgets. For this we need column widget, and the main axis size for this will be min, because we need to wrap, we will be wrapping all the components with its minimum space. We don't need maximum space as a full screen to do that thing. Okay, and it will have a children's. So first let's have a heading as const text, and the heading will be notes app. Okay, and it will have a style of text style, and let's assign the font size to 30. Let's try to reload the application. When Notes app had been appeared in the center because we had used center widget. Then after Notes app, let's add a sized box to place some gap between widgets. It will have a height of 20. Then there will be a row widget. The row widgets is because we are going to place icon and text field side by side. That's why we need this row widget. And the size of this main axis size of this row will be main axis size dot min. Okay, we have done this thing. Then we need children for row, and it will be an icon. We will use person. Okay, we can use. Okay, and after that there will be a container which will have a width of, let's use media query, size of context dot width, because we cannot place the text field directly. It will just throw an render error. So we need to provide a proper size for the text field, and then we can render it. And let's divide it by 1.5. It will have a margin of edge insets. Let's use only here, and we'll provide it for left because there should be a gap between icon and the text field. And it will have a child of text field. It have a controller. Let's create it afterwards. So for now we will use decoration, and it will have an input decoration. Let's assign the label text as email. Okay, so I have to reload the application, and you can see this email text field has been appeared with the icon. So the same thing we need to do for the password thing. So what we will do, I will copy this whole thing from size box to row, and I will paste it as it is below that email, and here I will use password. Also the icon will be changed to password. Let's try to reload, and password field has been created. After the password thing we need to place a button. So there should be a gap between text field and button. Here I will again use const sized box with a height of 20, and after which there will be elevated button. Let's write on pressed afterwards. It will have a child of text which will say login. So we had created an login button, but it doesn't look that much good. What we will do, we will just style it, and for that I will use style and elevated button dot style from. Here I will pass the background color as theme of context, and it will have a color of primary color. But we'll use light color here. Let's see how it looks. It looks much better than that. And we had created this button. Then we need to create another thing below this login screen, that if user doesn't have an account, then he need to create an account. For this we will be redirected toward the sign up page. So below this elevated button, I will again I will create a size box. We'll have a height of 20, and after that thing I need to create a row where we are going to place the two strings. First one is if user doesn't have an account, and next one will be a button which will redirect toward the sign up page. So let's create that. It will have a text of doesn't have an account question mark, and next thing will be there will be a text button. We'll have a child, and the text will be sign up. Let's write on pressed afterwards. Okay, let's try to reload the application, and the text has been appeared, but it not in a proper alignment. So what I will do, I will align it with main axis alignment, and it will be center. Now it looks better. So we have designed the login page. Now what we need to create the sign up page similarly. So I will do, I will create another screen which will have name as sign up screen dot. It will be a stateful widget, and we will copy the whole content from login screen from this scaffold to end and paste it here. After pasting, we need to change some fields. That will be, we need to change this button from login to sign up, and here rather than this doesn't have an account, I need to write already have an account, and it will be a login. Okay, so we had created a sign up screen. Now what we need to do in main.dart file, as we had created the root for login, similarly we need to create a root for sign up. It will have a context, and it will be pointing toward the sign up screen. Okay, had created both the screen. Now we need to use the navigation for switching between the screens. For that, I will use navigator. So let's go into the login screen, and here below the sign up, I will create a navigator of context, and the property will be push replacement named, and we need to pass the root name that we need to switch with. For in this case, it will be a sign up, and same thing I will copy from this one, and I will paste it in sign up dot dart in this method. And in this case, it will point toward login. We need to pass the routes that where we need to redirect. So this should work. Let's try it. Try to reload the application, and if I click on sign up, okay, it had redirected towards the sign up page where it asks already have an account, then need to log in, and the button will be sign up. If I click on login, then it will be redirected toward the login page. One thing we will do in the sign up screen, let's add another field which will be a confirm password thing. Let's create, let's copy this whole thing from here and paste it below the password. It will be confirm password. Let's try to reload. Yeah, this looks better for sign up screen. And for login screen, there will be only two fields, email and password. We have designed both the screen. Now we need to add the controllers. So let's start with login screen. Controllers are nothing but it handles the on change text fields where it stores the result that are entered into the text field. Let's create const email text editing controller. It will be an email controller. And the same thing we need to do for the password controller. Okay, we had created this both the controllers, and we need to place this controller into the respective text field. So here it is a text field for email, and there is a property called as controller where we need to pass the email controller. And the same thing we need to do for password. In the text field, there is a controller field where we need to use password controller. Okay, we have done it for login. We need to do it for sign up screen. We'll copy the same thing, but there will be additional field which will be confirm password. Okay, and let's assign it to the respective test field. Controller here will be email controller. For password, password controller, and for confirm password, it will be confirm password controller. Okay, let's try to reload, and let's check for login screen whether this controller works or not. So in the login button where the login button file where there is on pressed, what I will do, I will simply use print, and I will pass email controller dot text. Let's reload the application. If I write the thing and hit on login, okay, here you can see in the command prompt that the email has been appeared that I had entered here. So our controller is working. In this video, we had designed the login screen and sign up screen, as you can see here. In next video, we will add the functionality to this login and sign up screen by adding Firebase into this application. So to receive the updates, please subscribe to my channel and let's meet in the next video. Bye bye.